Hey guys! Welcome to the first Propitious community podcast. Today we are going to be talking about Marvel, and I've got four lovely ladies all together, and it's me and Fluffy Flipper are the co-hosts, and we've got our guests Kitty and Fouge. Please check them all out, they're all amazing, so go give them follows. And yeah, we're going to start off by making our dream Marvel team.
Oof. Naughty.
Oh yes. So, right, these are the team we've got to choose from. And we have $15. So we are going to pick who we think is best to defeat Thanos. Let's do it.
So, do we want to go with, we have to take one from each row? Or do we want to say that you can go with like three from the top if you want to?
I'll say.
I've already got my team set.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm ready, man.
Okay, go on.
I was gonna
Go
ask this question, really, like, what do we do here? Because I know different people do different rules for it.
Go on then, if you've got it. Who said they've got this?
Yeah,
Kitty?
I'll kick it off, otherwise I'm
Go
going to
on.
get nervous. Yeah, so I'm going to start with Doctor Strange. I'm going in with Captain Marvel, hopping over to Scarlet Witch, and then for a little bit of mischief, I'm going with Loki. Just for my little
Oh,
one.
okay.
We're gonna-
Okay.
Mine's pretty
So,
much...
Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange, did you say?
Yeah.
Good picks.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Captain Marvel and Scarlet Witch could just fucking thrash Thanos between them.
I mean, that's
know.
what, like, if I were to take from one each row, at least the top two rows, I'm always certain it's gonna be Marvel
two.
and Witch. It's like,
Yeah.
because they are at least very, like, they aren't quite as overpowered in the movies, but they are bonkers OP in the comics, and if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they definitely
And this is it, like, I feel like the $2 row, very useless, aren't they? Without being horrible.
Roll, isn't it?
The only one I would even consider, like, the only two I would even consider from that row is
Like, I'd prefer people
it's
for
probably
$1
Wong,
row.
really?
Yeah,
Because
well,
Wong is just the less powerful Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I guess.
and he
The
brings the
stocking fitted
humour.
Marvel.
And that too, yeah, he's a good humor.
That's a great analogy. The stocking fit.
Star is just an asshole, really, when you think about it. But whereas
Alright.
Wong has a more, nuanced humor.
So theoretically, if you consider how Spider-Man is now, like with Iron Man being in that $5 category, with Spider-Man how he is now, theoretically, isn't he Iron Man now? Theoretically.
I
Iron
guess.
Spider. He's got the Iron Spider suit, so why
So
not?
that's
Yeah.
what I mean. So theoretically, is he not better than Iron Man now?
Essentially Iron Man, but with spider powers, like with
Yeah.
actual superpowers. Because when you really think about it, Iron Man's superpower is money.
Basically,
And brains. He's got brains.
Money and
He's
brains.
not just going, here you go. Go away.
Yeah. Like, it's like Batman, right? Just to quickly off top, but it's like Batman in DC. It's like Iron Man's only superpower is the fact that he has a brain and he has money, boatloads of money.
Yeah.
I'd take Drax, Vision, Star-Lord, Gamora, Groot, and Spider-Man.
Vision's a good shout, to be fair.
Vision.
Like I
Why is
would,
Vision one?
from pure power, I would take Vision. But if I want to have some fun, I would 100% take Loki. Imagine
Vision's at the bottom.
Yeah, my
Yeah,
only
no,
thing with Vision is you're kind of taking the thing he wants into battle with him. It's like, here
Yeah.
you go, look at my head. Take it, dare ya.
Yeah. I mean, that's also what's thinking. That's also why I keep Loki as an open option, just mischief and everything. Oh, same Alice. Like, why is Loki one?
Yeah, I feel like
I think
they should
this is the
swap
thing.
1 and 2.
The pocket rocket, isn't he? He's unpredictable. He might show up and help her, but he also might go down the pub and have a beer.
And steal something on the way. I do think that literally that $2 row could just be taken out. Like, just.
Yeah. But Nebula's quite good though. She's on there.
I know. I mean, yeah. I guess I think they should probably then be swapped with the bottom row.
Yeah, definitely.
Because
The bottom
Loki
rows.
definitely shouldn't be in bottom.
And I mean, Hawkeye, although really underdone in the original movies, in Endgame did actually prove himself a little bit more interesting. So
Yeah, and in the comics, he's sick.
yeah, he's cool. I like him. And they kind of
So
messed him up in the MCU.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah, I do think
Scarlet Witch.
I mean, like in Infinity War, she kind of took him on with one hand and was winning, whilst also killing her boyfriend. So
Yeah.
She is pretty OP.
yeah,
But then Marvel is literally everything
she is.
Like she's
as
named
well.
Captain Marvel.
So
I do
It's
agree
crazy.
Captain America as well is pretty good. And Rocket's pretty creative with the way he kills people.
yeah, he's
so
a good brain to have, isn't he?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
smart. I'm wrong.
And then Hulk can just smash. Why is he $4? Hulk smash!
I mean, I can understand why Black Panther would be for, considering he has not just his powers with suit and everything, but he has an entire kingdom behind him and multiple armies.
Yes.
Yeah, so he's
Like
got like all that
he
backing,
provides
hasn't he?
expendable manpower in the end. So
Yeah, Black Panther is amazingly powerful, and yeah, very sad about Chadwick Boseman.
Does that, you had that as a topic. Do you want to move on to that?
Yeah, we can move on to that. So yeah, obviously with Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman passed away this year. I was so devastated about hearing about his loss.
It's crazy, isn't it?
So shocking.
How old is he in the end? Is he just turned 40 or something?
He was 42. So yeah, it was just very shocking, and obviously with the rumours of what's going to happen next with Black Panther as well.
Oh no, man.
It's so crazy to think of because it's such an amazing movie. Like Black Panther is definitely one of my favourite MCU movies. I think it had a really good. I think it's got one of the best ensemble casts. Oh, 43, sorry.
yeah,
He's 43, yeah.
Yeah.
I just think like he acted out that role so well. And who's the woman in it? What's her name? The actual actress.
Is it the one that plays Shuri or the one that plays Okoye?
The one who plays Shuri.
Letitia
sure
Wright.
that
She's amazing.
yeah.
She,
I mean, what I find so amazing about Black Panther when you then think about it is the fact that Bossman played that role whilst getting treatment and everything.
yeah, that's insane, and no one knew anything. Like he was acting the entire
It
way
was
through.
so hidden.
Yeah, he's such an incredible person, and he was always talking up about helping others as well. He did loads for charity, met with loads of children who had terminal illnesses himself. It was just insane. The guy's amazing.
Yeah. I also think it gives a much different outlook onto what he did in his in his free time from when not filming and such, because you think of, at least I did once, you see the genuine happiness he has when he realized maybe he probably knew at least some of those that he wouldn't be for too long. So he did everything he could and put into all the effort to at least give children and such hope. It's like, yeah,
fantastic guy. I'd definitely be missed.
I think like when you look back at that film, obviously with everything that's going on as well, it's like you look back at it and think how much of that now is almost becoming such an iconic film in Marvel's film series because of everything that's gone on and his death. Almost make it more kind of obvious that the whole Black Lives Matter thing and all that sort of stuff. I think it's just going to be an iconic movie in that set of films, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's definitely important. And I mean, even for me, the actual female cast in that is so amazing.
Oh
for
my
me,
God,
that's
yeah.
actually the best female empowerment in any Marvel movie. Like, I love Captain Marvel. I love all of that. But the fact that you've got his main guard, the strongest one, his girlfriend and Shuri, and just everything is just so amazing. They're just so empowered without it being like
Obvious and in
thing.
your face.
Yeah. It's not part of the story, it's just there. They just are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so
so
and it's so natural. Like
Yeah.
so natural.
It does so much. It does so much for like breaking the gender role stereotypes as well.
Completely.
Women can be smart. They can be in science. They can be in tech. Like it does so many things to so many different groups of people, and makes it so inclusive. And you could come into watching Black Panther with no knowledge of Marvel, no knowledge of superheroes, no knowledge of anything along those lines, and just be interested based on the acting alone.
Completely.
Yeah.
And that's probably what made that film such a good film for an outsider looking in. Like you said, like you don't have to be a fan of Marvel to enjoy that film.
No.
Whereas if you look at like the Avengers movies, it's very much you're probably gonna have to be a fan of Marvel to get the most out of the film.
Yeah, there's
Oh,
not
definitely.
as much storytelling. Black Panther is telling a story, and Avengers is telling a Marvel story, if that makes sense.
Yeah. There's just a lot more history to that film, I feel.
Yeah, quickly, hey to everyone coming in. Also, Punks has made a really good point about the Kree race in Captain Marvel.
Yeah,
Oh, no,
it's-
definitely.
They're important to the whole storyline.
Oh, Secret Invasion. Are they going to go down that route?
Are
I
they?
hope so.
Are
Is
they?
it gonna happen? Is it going to happen?
I mean, you never really truly know with Marvel in the end.
No, because I thought they were going to go down that route next when they did Captain Marvel. Now they're kind of
Yeah.
leaning into House of M and that kind of story.
Well,
But then
I
you've got
think-
Deadpool, you've got the Spider-Man stuff. Like you just don't know. You don't know where it's gonna go in.
What are you doing?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So good. It's such
Honestly,
a good...
if they ever incorporate Deadpool into like the main Marvel universe, I'm gonna lose my head. I'm gonna lose my head. Like,
I don't think they will.
Yeah.
They don't need to. They don't.
the
Need
thing
to.
is, I think Deadpool works best on his own simply because of the nature of Deadpool.
I think he might end up in another movie, but it won't be a crucial part in the whole series. It'll just be
Oh.
like a cameo. Like it'll be.
I mean, that would be the most Deadpool and Ryan Reynolds thing ever. Is
That's what
to
I mean,
have
and I
him
think
do
that
it.
would work really well.
I mean, we're
like, in
talking
anything.
about this. We're talking about the same franchise, I guess you could say, with Deadpool, that had Tom Cruise be in Deadpool 2 for about 3 frames. Well, it was
Yeah.
enough for him to go in and do a day's of work and get get paid minimum wage and a cup of coffee.
Yeah, I mean, so was looking earlier, and I don't know how many people in chat know this or you guys know much about it, but Ryan Reynolds has been confirmed for Doctor Strange 2, as well as
So,
Tobey
yeah.
Maguire and Andrew Garfield. Like,
This
oh
is
my
insane
god!
news.
What?
Insane fucking news.
Ah! It
Ugh.
just breaks me so much. Like,
How does he fit in? Where does Deadpool fit in Doctor Strange though?
yeah. Are we universe hopping? Because I think we're universe hopping, and
I think
I'm
we're
excited.
I mean, to it would make sense considering it's called Doctor Strange in the multiverse of
Yeah,
madness.
it's the only
Yeah.
thing that they could fit it in with.
Yeah,
And
and I feel...
I'll also say that's probably why Mike Maguire and Garfield fit in as well, because they
Yeah.
they're probably gonna treat the previous two Star Wars Spider-Man iterations as different multiverses of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But also how you get you manage to get Ryan Reynolds in there as well, and Loki.
I'm so
mean-
excited.
I feel like Ryan Reynolds was just like, so when am I coming in? Where's my invite?
How
I'm
can
here
I
now.
come in and
Come in.
mess
What's
mess
going?
everything up the most?
Yeah, and Scarlet Witch is in it as well, which kind of makes me feel like we're
Oh, I
gonna
didn't know that.
see... Yeah, she's one of the main characters, and I think she might actually be the bad guy. This is my kind of theory, is
So-
that she's...
Well, she started off as a villain, didn't she?
Yeah, she
Yeah.
did.
She did, yeah, back in.
She could be like a Loki character though, you know, like a little bit villain, but I don't know.
So, House of M is a story in the comic books. It's actually my favourite comic book personally, where Scarlet Witch kind of loses her mind a little bit. Her mental health is very, very fragile, but her powers are so intense that she rewrites the entire universe. Now, in House of M, it's about the loss of her kids that causes it, and then Vision ends up dying in the comics as well, and she just breaks. So Vision has just died in the MCU. We've got WandaVision coming out soon, which from the trailers looks like it's going to be a very trippy show, and I feel like it's going to lead into her mental capacity breaking.
It was always leading to the shift all the way through the end of that battle, wasn't it? In the last scenes, and her attachment, and it sort of played on that.
Yeah, I guess. I think as well, like, you know, the whole Captain America bit where they swapped over at the end.
Yeah.
Like, how's that gonna like unveil? Like, what's gonna happen with that? Because that's surely got. So we've theoretically got Captain America, but it's
Falcon.
a different character. Yeah. So how's that gonna unveil as well? Like, there's just so much curiosity, and it's so exciting.
Yeah, definitely. I'm so like the fact that obviously with everything this year you haven't had Black Widow come out. I mean, when they released Mulan for like £30 on Disney Plus, I was like, please stop, please just give me Black Widow. I'll pay 40. Give me the money. Just give me the bill. Give it to me. Yeah,
You paid just 40 or pay 60.
Tell you what,
I mean,
have all the money in the bank account.
I'm sitting in a Black Widow crop top. Like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't want Mulan. We want Black Widow, guys. Come on.
I know.
It's supposed to be out this month, so I'm excited.
I've still not watched Mulan yet.
I haven't even. Like, zero.
I haven't even about touched Disney Plus. Like, I've looked what's through and then left it to be for now.
Madness. Absolute madness. When do we think the next film will come out?
Black Widow's due this month, isn't it?
Is it? No.
Yeah, the delay in filming for all of the big feature films at the moment have been pushed back. It was originally the first lockdown. I think most of them were 6 months. So all of the
Black Widow's pushed to May 7th.
When
That's painful.
Yeah.
It's going to be another heap again.
2021 now.
Yeah, I feel like it's May 2021.
Yeah,
is that
it
right?
is
May
May
7th in the United States.
Yeah, May 7th. That's when it's set. At least it stands set to go out. It's the first Marvel film that's going to get released. As a part of Phase 4.
Which will be interesting because of what happened in Endgame.
Yeah, exactly. That's gonna be. I think you're gonna know where they're gonna go with some form of storylines based on that film.
Yeah.
Like, even if some stuff's not that obvious, I do think that we'll find a lot out. For the hardcore fans, they'll notice things.
I mean, I'm looking forward to, because at least what little we know of it, it's going to involve Yelena Belova, which is the other Black Widow in Marvels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I need to see how it goes along, because she's usually the bad Black Widow when it is.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting film to watch. Phase 4 is definitely going to be interesting.
I can't believe we're gonna be at Phase 4.
10 years.
That is mad. That is mad.
11 years of Marvel now. God.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That is crazy, isn't it?
It is, definitely. It's 11 years in
Yeah.
my life.
If they go for the reverse House of M, I would really like to see Avengers versus X-Men. Oh.
That'd be good. I'm like,
Oh, that's a good one.
with the X-Men characters, I'd rather them not do more X-Men films as like, I don't want to see Dark Phoenix again. I don't really want to see an introduction story again. I'd rather see those characters in the universe separately.
Yeah.
Like Kitty Pryde.
I do feel they're sort of starting to exhaust those characters as well, because there's only so much you can do with the same cast and
100%.
same people. You can also only destroy the world in so many ways. And surely at one point people are going to be like, nah, bun this. We're not going to rebuild everything again. It's just going to get destroyed in 2 years' time.
Yeah, they definitely have to do something different, and I think in Marvel's hands it'll probably be quite good. I do want to see another Fantastic Four movie though, because I want to see that done right.
Yeah.
Yeah, those films annoyed me.
It's been what, 5 years since the last one?
Yeah.
5 years?
Just give me another. Yeah, so with Black Panther again, yeah, Black Panther 2 is supposed to be in phase 4. Don't know what they do. I think Shuri makes the most sense, personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Alice has just said as well. Could do Black Panther 2 with Shuri.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely probably the route that they could go down.
I feel like they might go for the heavy female role push as an alternative. But
Yeah.
then you can't diverge too much, can you?
It would
No.
work. That would work though. Like,
Yeah.
I think that would definitely work.
Yeah, and it follows canon in comics as well, because she is... I think that is the difficult kind of conversation to have, is how do you write that out whilst showing the respect that Chadwick deserves, but still making it in the universe.
I think it's hard because one, stay true to comics. Two, obviously want to make a really good film, but at the same time you don't want to alienate diehard fans. But at the same time you need to introduce Marvel to new people. It needs to be cross generations, doesn't it? It needs to interest people who maybe wouldn't be interested before. But like I said, staying true, but being able to adapt in a way that's not going to be offensive, not going to step on anyone's toes, not going to, it's going to be a hard one.
It's definitely going to be hard.
Yeah.
But that's probably because of how this year's ended up as well. Like, without this year, it might have been a little bit easier. But I think it's just in the public eye so much that it's going to be a tough fight. But I think if there's any almost company that could do something like that, I think Marvel have got it in their locker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm gonna say I'm happy. I'm not in the decision room to make it, but it's gonna be one hell of a decision you need to make as the writers and producers about what do you do to, because everyone at Marvel will try and honor Chadwick the best they can, but it's such a touchy thing to do because you need to do it right without it feeling too much or without being disrespectful as well. And that can at least at times be a hard balance to try and strike.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Beastie's just said they've got to be careful not to piss people off with Chadwick, and then Greg's made a good point, but I don't know if this would work well. And that's to, like, you could impose Chadwick's face for, like, the movie to make it have.
That's what they've done
I don't
with.
think they would either.
I mean that's what they've done with Star Wars at least. That trying and like get a CGI.
Most of the time it's when someone passes away during the filming, though, isn't it? Never.
Yeah.
I feel like though that Marvel would have had a mega heads up way sooner than we would have had. They would have had a bit more time to prepare what would be coming next and adapt, and they've had the extra time during lockdown and COVID and extra months that they've had.
I feel like the question also becomes, what have they filmed so far?
Exactly.
Because I know for Fast and
or even
Furious,
written.
I think it was Fast and Furious 6 or 7, where one of the big actors passed away in a car accident towards the end of filming. So they actually the guy who played O'Connor, and they took his brother.
Paul Walker.
Paul Walker. But they with of course film permission and everything, they used his two brothers as stand-ins for the last scenes that hadn't been filmed yet.
Yeah.
And they then just made up a way to get him out of the storyline. So they didn't have to do much, and still respectful, because at least in Fast and Furious they just let him, become a family man, and they cut all contact. They mentioned him, I think, in 8, like we calling O'Connor, but they just shoot it down like he's the family now. So
I guess that's the thing. Like, what does he find respectful, or what does his family find respectful?
Yeah.
That'll be the big talking point amongst families.
Because I guess it's kind of where that decision lies.
Yeah. Well, at least with Fast and Furious, they had all the big action scenes and everything they were of course recorded and filmed and everything. So
what's Teddy said? Just looking back through chat now, I think they should transition into giving his sister the mantle, like in the comics. But yeah, I think that's one way, and I think it's up in the air what they're gonna do. I think. But right, shall we move on to a few questions? See if you know the answers.
Let's do it.
Chat, you can answer as well. I don't know how much the delay will be or anything, but feel free to write it out in chat. What we'll do is I'll ask a question, and then just shout out if you think you know the answer, and if we think it's worth talking about, we'll talk about it. So, question 1. Unlike the comics, who created Ultron in Avengers Age of Ultron? Any idea?
So it was Iron Man and the Hulk to a lesser degree, but mainly Iron Man. They worked on it together.
So yeah, Tony Stark and Iron Man.
And Bruce Banner.
Yeah. So, unlike the comic books, I don't know this bit of the comic book, but who made it in the comic books then?
So it was
I
Mr.
don't have the
Fantastic in the comic books, I believe.
Yeah.
No, or that was Ant-Man. Might have been Ant-Man.
Okay.
And a flashback in my brain. Because I've read it. I've definitely read it. It's Ant-Man.
Because I didn't know this.
Yeah, it's Ant-Man.
It was Ant-Man, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It was me being like, I knew he wasn't in the universe yet, which is why they didn't do it, and I couldn't remember what it was, but I knew it was one of them.
I just, because I am dumb and search it up, just so we now can get on with it, was actually Hank Pym.
Yes.
Oh.
Hank Pym's Ant-Man, because he's the original.
Yep.
Damn. Crazy. Okay, so question 2. Which beloved comic book writer has cameoed in every Marvel film up to Avengers Endgame?
Stanley!
Woo! I asked this purely so we can talk about the OG.
What a legacy. What a legacy to leave people. What a legacy.
I know.
Imagine leaving a stamp on that many people's lives. It's just crazy.
That's insane. I cried when they had the Stan Lee
Oh my god, done.
start part. I can't remember which one it was, which movie. It was just after he passed away, and I was sobbing. It's horrible.
It's crazy.
Like all the cameo montages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think in the end, he was so much in them. Was like people were like, okay, how are they gonna get Stan Lee to cameo in? How are they gonna get a cameo in for this movie?
A few, hadn't he? Before he'd pre-filmed a few bits of his cameos because that was his condition, wasn't it? That he wanted to be in the cameos.
Yeah,
so they'd done quite a few before he passed, and then they still went on to use them.
Yeah.
I think Spider-Man, the most recent one, was the first one without him in, and I think they did have like a picture of him somewhere. If I remember correctly.
I've got a list of facts about Stanley.
Oh.
So his wife was a barber. Did you know that?
I didn't. That's so cute. He loved his wife.
So and he wrote in something. He's like, oh yeah, Ronnie, Joni always cuts my hair, so he never had to go to a barber's because his missus did it. His missus did it.
Sat at home in his kitchen with his like missus. I don't want to pay for that. I'll do it now. Don't worry.
I'll do your hair for you.
Oh.
So his confidence came from his mother, who also, basically his mum would read to him loads, and essentially he's claimed, I think this is from an autobiography, and he's like, I probably got my self-confidence from the fact that my mother taught me everything I did was brilliant. So like that philosophy was, and I think that almost shows.
Yeah.
Just that everyone has the right to think that they're brilliant, like, and everything that they do. I guess that almost sums him up as a guy, I feel. Like,
yeah.
As a nice gent. I don't know.
He was so lovely, and like, if you see him with fans, he was always happy that people knew who he was and knew his work.
Yeah.
Every time. He never looked sad. Oh, I love him so much.
Oh wow, I didn't know this one. So he said he defied the comics code authority with an anti-drug comic. In 1971, Lee received a letter from the Department of Health, Education and Welfare asking him to put an anti-drug message in one of his books. Damn. And he came up with Spider-Man. And that's essentially the anti-drug book. Know that?
Bizarre. I guess because the spiders are made in a lab.
Yeah, I guess that's probably the backing
It's probably
of
the
that.
link.
Surely drug testing's a little bit of a detour.
I know, I just think like
Occasionally.
that's what it says. That's what it says. It's like the Spider-Man story involved his best friend abusing pills because of a
Oh.
breakup.
Oh, wow.
The GCA would not approve of the story with their seal because of the mention of drugs, but Lee convinced his publisher Martin Goodman to run the comic anyway.
Good on him.
Wow.
It's important to talk about those sort of things, and I think that's something I love about comic books anyway.
Yeah, I get you.
They
That's what
talk
people
about.
forget as well. You talk about
Yeah.
it in an educational way, but also even if you run with the story, then you can portray the consequences of drug use. So
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
you know.
Also, I just thank you for reminding me about Stan and Spider-Man is the fact that Steve Ditko and Stan Lee, the two who created Spider-Man and comics and such, both died within a month of each other. Whereas Ditko died in June 2018 and Stan in November.
It's sad.
It almost feels sort of poetic that as Spider-Man grew in a way, like truly grew, as a part of Marvel and everything, those two passed away. Something I all just realised.
Ah.
Hmm.
But yeah, Beastie, I think you're right. It's
Yeah.
more to do. So it says here, anti-drug messaging books. He came up with the Spider-Man story that involved his best friend, i.e., the Green Goblin.
So rather than writing like a message about it, he was like, I'll write an entire story that shows you the consequences
Yeah.
of it in a real way that's not like empty words on the front of a comic. if that
Yeah,
makes sense.
basically, it's a
They
true
do
story.
do that in the movies as well. They do portray that quite well, I think.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, they do,
dynamics and the
definitely.
shift from being like buddy growing up to like, whoa, okay, nope.
Get out. No, it's
Yeah.
war then. So we'll move on to another question. On what planet was the Soul Stone hidden in Infinity War?
Oh.
Do you know? So on what
Oh.
planet?
I know, but I can't think what it is.
Yeah, same. And remember correctly, it's the collector that has it at the time.
It begins with V. Teddy's got it.
For me, yeah.
Oh,
Beastie's
Vormir,
got
yeah.
it.
Oh,
Yes,
oh yeah,
it's-
that's Fresco.
I was like, where's
That's
my brain gone there?
I did think that one might catch some of you out. Which former Doctor Who companion plays cyborg assassin Nebula?
I know the answer, but I was just
You just
Karen.
I'm a
wait.
massive Doctor Who nerd.
Yeah, Karen Gillan.
Karen Gillan. Amy
I remember.
Pond, the girl who waited. Sorry, I'm being nerdy now. Just hide.
Doctor Who nerd comes straight out.
So what? We're talking
But
about
Doctor Who? We're talking about Marvel. What? Wait.
When's that one?
You know, I remember it was Karen because I was shocked when I realized it was Karen who played Karen
Oh.
Gillan who played Nebula.
Same, to be fair. Like I didn't see it at first.
She's such a good actress as well. I think she's really underrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
I'd like to see her in more.
I think she is going. I think she's got quite a good set of stuff coming up. I think she's signed up to do it for Netflix for a contract for something as well.
Ooh.
So in which film's post-credit scene did Thanos first appear?
It was the Avengers, wasn't it? First
It
Avengers.
was. It was
And
the
he
first
wasn't
Avengers.
the right colour.
And he
And
wasn't the right
very,
colour.
Very different by the time he turned up.
Yeah.
He got off his
so
chair
weird.
and then sat back down for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. He was so different. He really was.
I think they didn't know what they were doing at the time. They were just like, we've got a plan somewhere in the future to do this, and then it will change.
So we have already talked about Black Panther, but I did have this as a question just because I wanted to make sure we spoke about it. But what is the name of Black Panther's home country? We all should know.
Wakanda.
Wakanda.
Wakanda forever.
Woo. Which former Batman played Spider-Man villain in Vulture?
Oh, Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton. I think he's underrated as well, you know.
He was so
Yeah.
good in that role. My
I know.
God.
I know.
Oh,
So good. So
that's such a
good.
film. It's actually my favourite Spider-Man film. Sorry
Oh, do you
to
think?
Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. Yeah, I think he's amazing. I think everything about him, the fact that he loves Spider-Man, the fact that he will happily chat about Spider-Man and the comics for ages.
Yeah,
is-
yeah.
I just love him. Tom Holland. I want to protect him.
I have a question. How do you think they should go about introducing mutants into the MCU? Ooh.
Reverse House of M is mine.
Yeah.
I think we kind of mentioned it, didn't we?
Mm.
But I think the reverse would probably be the way forward.
But
In terms of
finish off.
in terms of it making sense.
Yeah. Just a thing, right, about Tom Holland. I think one of the cute thing I think was Infinity War or Endgame, where
Mhm.
they literally had to have Cumberbatch go with Holland all the time around just to make sure he didn't spoil much.
I love
Like
watching
that's a
that. It's like-
that's a compilation of on YouTube of just Benedict Cumberbatch trying to make sure that Tom Holland doesn't spoil the movie.
So many people would bait him out as well because they know
Yeah,
that
they
he's to target him and ask him questions mid start, and then he looks like no.
It's so cute.
Oh dear
and
me.
No, those are the time I open something like truly like really confidential on on a stream is like oh no.
yeah, I mean, Benedict Cumberbatch is in the next Spider-Man movie, isn't he? I wonder
I
why.
know. I wonder
They're
why.
just like, we need someone to keep him quiet.
Exactly.
So you, just what Beastie was saying quickly about all this potential Spider-Man 3 having all three Spider-Mans. They've been
Okay.
confirmed for Doctor Strange 2.
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire.
Do we get the black suit Spider-Man though, or just number one?
I don't know.
That would think. Imagine if we get black suit Spider-Man, but you know properly made.
Or maybe a nice pink suit Spider-Man.
Don't get my hopes up. Don't get my hopes up, Shauna. Please, don't get my hopes up.
I do
Sorry.
think that film's gonna be an
I thought
absolute madness.
if they someone managed to include Spider-Gwen, I would pay literally $200 just.
Oh, I do think though that film's gonna be a literal madness.
Yeah.
It's gonna be insane.
I mean, I literally
I don't
have
know how they're gonna
Spider-Gwen
do
as my
it,
new wallpaper on my desktop, so.
I love Punk's message there. Like, that's me on a normal day. I'm like,
For reference, by the way, someone in chat punks has just put, I was walking home and I was screaming out the answers to the questions to an old married couple walking nearby, and they're like, "Why are you talking about Marvel?" Oh, this is what a podcast does to people, folks.
Yeah.
So we've got 3 more questions. So, who was Tony Stark's favorite band? Whose songs feature in the Iron Man movies? Can you remember?
yeah, I know.
Punks
Iron
has
Maiden.
got it right. It wasn't.
AC/DC? Oh, damn it.
AC/DC.
Oh, no,
I should know that then,
Oh,
but I
you're
totally forgot.
muting, no.
I love AC/DC though.
I started singing.
Did you?
What were you singing?
Tell me the song name you were singing. No. Was it Thunderstruck? Wasn't it, you know?
Was it Thunderstruck? It has to be. Yes.
I kind of want to hear it
that
now.
was brilliant. We're waiting for a rendition. Come on.
It's not happening.
We'll move on swiftly to Save Kitty then.
You know, you do that. I'll just quickly put it on my own and just so I can, you know, listen again. I'll take any excuse to listen to AC/DC.
What species is Loki revealed to be?
Oh, one of the frost enemies. You see,
Yeah, so a frost giant.
frost giant. That's the name. What? Yeah.
Yeah, close. Everyone's saying like ice giant, frost giant.
Yeah, frost giant. I remember. Yeah, because I think Loki himself was shocked about it as well because that's why I remember.
We won't say that one though for the YouTube content though. Just look
I
at
mean,
ChatGPT.
unless you want to make an Australian version.
Punks has got like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
extra step.
Oh,
That's what I
okay,
was trying to think of.
And this is the last one. It doesn't have to be the last one, but I think we can move on to like the comic versus film thing probably after.
Yeah.
Who killed Tony Stark's parents?
It was where's my brain gone? Oh my god, it's
Come
Captain
on.
America's best friend. I know it, but I
Come on.
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier.
Yes!
What the frick happened with my brain
That's
there?
all right, yeah. Okay.
What is happening?
Unmute yourself. I'm just unmuted now.
Literally, my brain just went puh. I was like, I know who it is. I can see his arm like strangling, and it's like, nah, fine, whatever.
Oh gosh, Christ on a bike.
Oh god, that was awful.
Seeing the stream back and looking at Shauna's face, trying to work it out. She's like, what is it? What is it?
What's even worse is
It's
you
a-
didn't see Chris just turn around and glare at me like, what the hell is going on there?
You should know this.
I do know it. I was talking. We had a massive conversation earlier about Bucky and all of that stuff, and we have arguments about this all the time because I'm kind of team Iron Man in Civil War, and Chris is team Captain America. We
Okay.
have full-on fights.
I mean,
Greg's-
I'm personally team 4, but you know.
Team 4. He's not even in it. Oh no, I'm
Exactly.
taking his side. Yeah. Why was he left out?
Shauna would be like Metal Arm Man.
Have you seen like the thing like Marvel did like small recordings of like Team 4 for the movie.
Where he was like his friend sitting on Earth and talking to Hulk, and Hulk was like, please don't call me.
I think you're probably best at talking about the comics more than me. I know Greg asked the question earlier, so I do want to make sure we touch on it. But like, how different, I guess, the comic books are compared to the films, and how the storylines are gonna potentially cross and kind of intervene. I know we've touched on it a little bit, but like you mentioned, your favorite comic, Fuge, Kitty. Have you read many? Like, do you have any favorites?
I read a
Hundred
few,
percent,
but like
100%
most of them are like a few
Okay.
years back by now. The only one the only one I truly remember is probably Gwenpool.
Oh, I love
But that's
Grandpa.
because that's essentially just a female version of Deadpool, and yeah.
Yeah, I've got a small hamper. I'd probably say like Punisher Complete Collection, Marvel Universes versus Punisher, and then probably the Black Widow series. Like I've got what else have I got actually? I started reading through right after Christmas. Finding Woven Thread, Tightly Tangled Web, and Last Days. But yeah, they're probably my tops.
Nice. I think I've only read like the main Avengers ones, and they were all online too. I don't even have like physical copies of them. My friends did, but I never really had them. But I wouldn't like to explain how they're different to the movies. I probably think you three are probably better at doing that than me.
Yeah.
And to helping Greg and kind of people understanding who aren't necessarily die-hard Marvel nerds.
Yeah. I mean, I've got quite a few. I actually did grab it like there, a few of them there, but that's not all of them. I think with Teddy, Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe is a absolute banger of a comic. It's just funny. I like with the MCU. I think they do a really good job personally of updating the comic books, making them a more smoother storyline. Because a lot of the kind of overarching comic books have so many stories within it, and it branches off into all different directions. But as a whole, the films do give a coherent version of that.
Like, they do a good job of
Yeah, no,
almost
like
summarizing them.
from what I
Yeah.
know and like both what I've read and what I've seen on the internet and such, both what I read in the comics and what I've seen on the internet, like don't fully follow the comics, but they are at the very least like based and grounded in the comics for the most part.
Yeah, they definitely are. I think that's what's different with the MCU compared to a lot of the other kind of
Especially the
movie
DC.
series. Yeah, the DCEU, or even with X-Men, I feel like some of the reason why they didn't do so well is because they weren't coherent enough. They didn't
Yeah.
care about the stories as
I,
much
f- I
as
feel
like
I feel
with
like
the
what
MCU.
happened with Avengers and everything, like the entire storyline with Avengers, is that it was grounded enough in the comics that the people who love the comics could follow along and like it and watch it, and was still filmanized and like
Yeah.
filmaticized enough that the people who hadn't read the comics could get a really good story and follow along with it as well.
Yeah.
I feel like what Matt was saying as well with the Punisher movies. I
Mhm.
think we've had what 3? I think 1989 Punisher will always be my favourite. Always going to be my favourite. Come at me. Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind more content. I wouldn't mind another series. But I feel like I was a huge fan of the first season. I feel like maybe they should have stopped. I feel like it was a little strung out for the second, and I'm a huge fan, so that's coming with like pinch of salt. But
Yeah.
I don't know how I'd feel about another season. I don't know whether they should have just left it. I really
It's a
enjoyed
little
it.
bit. It's a little bit like Star Wars, though, isn't it? Everyone says like
I want more. I
in
don't
other
like
films
it.
about making too much
Yeah.
of a good thing.
I would
Yeah.
rather it either be shorter and no fillers, or just don't make it and leave us with what we've got.
It was fine. Just
I
don't do
mean,
it again.
about Star Wars, it felt like especially like these sequel movies felt like a rehashed version. Like just you took the first 3 movies made and try and redo them in a more modern setting.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, there's rumors they're trying to get the Netflix staff back. I don't know for what or why, but apparently they're trying to rehire them. And I think he did a good job as the Punisher. It's just the writing that needs fixing. But the MCU
Yeah.
would probably hire better writers anyway.
I agree. Casting wise, it's Frank Castle, spot on. Like does it well. Does it well. I really, it's great casting.
Definitely.
So then, if you could not, so for those who maybe haven't read any of the comics, if you could pick one comic then that they read, what would it be?
House
I
of
was in to
M.
recommend one to read a comic.
You what?
To a recommendation for people to read comics.
Yeah, basically, like which
Yeah.
one would you potentially recommend?
Yeah, I'd probably say Marvel Universe, especially the Punisher. That's just.
I mean, that
Yeah.
depends. I'll say if you want to do it a good way is that take your favorite MCU character and try and read one of the comics associated with them. For example, if you like Spider-Man, try and read some of the Spider-Man comics. If you like Iron Man, or just like the general Avengers storyline, try and read some of the Avengers comics.
Yeah.
So chat saying Secret Wars.
Secret Wars is
Secret
really
Wars.
good.
Well, Secret Wars is good as well, yeah.
But what I'd say as well is like I've read, like you mentioned Gwenpool being your favourite comic book character. I've read quite a bit of Gwenpool comics and I love them. They're absolutely hilarious. They're really good because it's like her origin story is she's a fan that goes into the comics and knows that she's in a comic and wants to stay there and just trolls everyone because she knows everyone's secrets. And like there's so many comic book characters that don't get the recognition I think they probably should have. And it's not because they're not well written, it's just because they're not in the MCU. So it's kind of like finding what type of comic book you're into and seeing what other characters might exist in that kind of genre, like comedy, action, because they have different genres for different comics.
Yeah. I think we can all touch on that, Punks, if you want us to, and Kitty can maybe start it off. So just for context, what are your thoughts on how the MCU handled Jessica Jones and the PTSD? So she's one of the Netflix ones, isn't she?
Yeah, yes. I think they handled it really, really well. Like I really enjoyed that season. I really think it
I
showed
enjoyed it.
development, it showed building, it showed dependence on crutches like where alcohol use, about pushing people away, about not being able to form relationships. It really hit home, and I think they've done that really well. I enjoyed that so much, and I think hitting on PTSD, trauma, childhood, it shows how that affects normal life. It shows how it affects your coping strategies. It shows how you can hold down a job, what kind of jobs you do, and your priorities. And I think they did that really well. So yeah, I think they did that well.
Yeah. I think for me, watching it when I did, you don't actually recognize that until you're like a good halfway through the season, if you know what I mean. And I think that just shows how well it was done.
I think from an outsider, you just look at it and think, oh, that's a ballsy woman. She likes to drink. Where you go?
Yeah.
You know nothing about her backstory, then yeah, it slowly builds. But I think if you kind of a bit more aware, you kind of see it a bit earlier on. But I think they handled it quite well for new people coming in. It's as a standalone, brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's cast well. The whole thing, really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's quite interesting as well because they touched on PTSD in Iron Man 3 as well.
Yes, they did,
but
didn't they?
That's more of like, whereas Jessica Jones had the time to explore it fully, they didn't have to have like a couple of scenes where it was obvious and then carry on the story. That's interwoven through everything. It's in her character. I think personally it's done really, really well. I think I recommend Jessica Jones to people who don't like superheroes and don't like Marvel,
Yeah,
things like that.
I think that'd be a good recommendation too.
Yeah.
To get into it potentially.
Yeah. It's standalone. It's really good. I do think that because of the format of being TV versus movies, it's better done than it is in Iron Man. Although Iron Man, I still think it's really important to talk about those kind of things in movies.
In such a big movie.
Yeah.
Who else was there? There was another one, wasn't there, on
There
Netflix?
was Luke Cage. It was Iron Fist. Don't even talk about Iron Fist. We don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, we don't. Talk about that. I was
We're
gonna
not
say that's the one that was
Talk about it.
terrible.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that actually. That's probably the only one. Luke Cage was a bit of a slow burner. I think it
Luke
had some
Cage,
good scenes.
yeah.
I think that's another one externally that you could get into and stick with and have no knowledge. While you like Iron Fist, no, there's the elements I liked, and then it was build, flop.
Nothing. Yeah,
in my
that's how I.
opinion, in my
Yeah,
opinion. And there was no. I know obviously it's a universe for superheroes and villains, but there is so many holes and gaps and so many contradictions and so many. I wasn't a fan. Luke Cage was underrated. I agree.
I liked Luke Cage.
I
don't
never
actually...
I never got to see any of the shows because they never came over here. So like they never came to Danish Netflix, so I never got to see them.
Get a VPN. Gosh.
Yeah. You need one.
I'm a
You need to watch
student.
these. You need
I
to
am
watch
a-
Jessica Jones.
Guys, I'm a student. I can.
You weren't. You weren't.
Yeah, I mean, still, I have to survive, you know.
I think you're fine saying it's been out long enough for the
Yeah.
spoiler to be alright, punks. I think with Netflix as well, it's completely different making a series than it is a movie, and that comes with its challenges. Like,
Yeah.
from a writing perspective, trying to make sure that they do it right, I guess.
I liked the cameos and the linking and the little drops of characters and the overlaps. I loved seeing Karen pop in, good old Karen.
Oh yeah.
Like she just, I like that. Every now and again you'll spot someone and then you'll forget almost what you're watching and then you forget
Yeah.
I like that. I think they did that quite well. But yeah, Karen Page, what a legend.
Only wish it didn't get cancelled. Luke just went evil and I wanted to see what happened. It mustn't have just got the viewers, I don't know.
It's because Disney took everything away from Netflix when they opened up Disney Plus.
True.
But they are trying to get the actors back. I don't know if they'll do all of them. I doubt they'll pick up Iron Fist again, let's be honest.
Yeah, they probably won't.
But, I mean, why would you?
So glad you agree, because I think that's usually quite a controversial one. I've been shut down a lot of times, but I'm not a hater. I just feel like they didn't do what they could have done with it. I feel like
I'm with you. Like you say, I enjoyed the build. It was the flop that it was just
I
meh.
think it was such a good build as well. It was a bloody good build. Excuse me, like, is that okay? Is that word okay?
Yeah,
Yeah, I enjoyed the build. It was done well, but it was just too many plot holes.
Yeah, it flopped season 2. So I don't know if any of you have watched any of the Shield series.
I haven't actually.
Okay, so
I've seen an old episode, but I've never sat and watched through.
So I actually have pretty much watched like all of it, and certain bits in that are awesome when you're watching the films alongside it, and how a series like that is intertwined with the movies. Like, it is so good. I'm finishing the final season, so no spoil. I won't spoil it. But Marvel Agents Shield is a very good series, and I would, if you have the time to put the effort in to watch it, just watch it.
All 8
Like,
seasons of it.
all 8. Like, you find out bits of the films. I know, obviously, because I haven't read much of the comics, so I don't know an awful lot of backstory. Actually, watching that series allows you to understand a lot of the backstory. And I think the whole kind of summary of that whole series. I mean, Matt, I don't want to spoil it for punks, but it ends so well. That's all I'm saying. But it just ends so well, and it's perfect. Like, talking about Iron Fist being a flop and stuff, like, this didn't. It built and it just carried on building, and each series was as good as the last. But yeah, if you can put the time in to watch it, I think the episodes are only like 25 minutes. I think. I can't remember, but they're good. They're so good. I'm upset none of you've watched it.
I watched the first few seasons, and I think it wasn't as good back then, unfortunately. I think it got better, and I've heard it got better. I need to put some time into it. I need to do it. But one show for me that got really cheated, Agent Peggy Carter.
Okay,
So good! Like, it got cancelled after 2 seasons, and it was such a good show. Loved it.
Oh, they're 50 minutes. Okay. But yeah, that was good. And why did it get cancelled, by the way?
I think it was just because there was a lack of viewers, because I think it was quite misadvertised at the time. I think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was too. But I feel like they pulled away the concentration on Peggy and put it more into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay.
But
She does. Beastie's right. She does come through into that series later on. I think it's season 5. I don't know off the top of my head, but yeah, she comes through it. Not as well as you'd probably like, without there being a series dedicated to her. But she's in a few of the episodes, that's for sure.
yeah, because I think they were supposed to do Agent Peggy Carter up until the founding of S.H.I.E.L.D. And then it didn't happen because it got cancelled, and it was sad, and I was very upset about it. And also, I'm kind of upset with the way Endgame ended, because she had an entire show about moving on and finding her own personality and her own recovery after what happened, for it to be all undone, to be tied up in what Marvel was like, it's a pretty little box, here, have it. I'm like, no, you've undone like 10 years of character development for both Captain America and Peggy, and you kind of snogged her.
I watched a bit of, I watched like season 3 and 4 of Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. and like, I'm sort of sad they didn't do more with the Ghost Rider. Because he was very involved in the series itself, but like, outside of that, he's just not been involved in anything. And I really like Ghost Rider as a character. Especially the Robert Reyes one they had for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not like, I don't know too much about Ghost Rider, but I know Chris is obsessed, so I know from him. But yeah, hopefully, like, with all these new Disney Plus stuff, I really hope that they do carry on giving other MCU characters a chance.
I think they will.
Is anyone...
They've got the money.
Yeah, definitely. They've definitely got the money, because they're doing that
for you as well.
Oh,
yeah. Yes, Beastie.
What film are you most excited for? That's like out of from Marvel, obviously. We haven't Marvel podcast. Wow.
Due to come out.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Based on the news, Doctor Strange 2.
Definitely, 100%. Just like,
I think, or what they're gonna do with Black Panther. I think that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah.
In movie excitement. What about you, Kitty?
I think it's got to be Venom 2 for me. That'd be Carnage. I think I'm.
Really?
Yes. I'm pumped.
I didn't actually enjoy that film.
Yeah, I
I
didn't
did.
either. I'm sorry.
I did for different reasons. For different reasons. There's so many like variations from the comics, but at the same time, as a film, I really enjoyed it. I did really enjoy it.
Yeah, I think that's the good thing about Marvel as well is you'll get some people loving it, some people not really liking it, but they'll never go, I hated that.
I didn't hear the movie at all. Which one was it?
Venom 2.
Oh, Venom 2, yeah. Oh.
So saying that we didn't enjoy, me and Shauna didn't enjoy.
I didn't
Venom.
really enjoy it either. Like, I love Venom as a character simply because of the nature of Venom. Because Venom, in theory, is not one single character. Because Venom can be anyone.
Exactly.
And I feel like that's why a lot to see more Venom related, because Venom could, in theory, like imagine Venom bonding with MJ. Like, and because that's an opportunity you can have because of the nature of Venom. Because Venom is a symbiote, which
Yeah.
can bond and unbond with whenever it feels like it. But it needs someone to bond with. But it can bond with anyone for any reason. Like you say, it could literally bond with anyone just to get revenge on someone else.
Yeah, Venom's cool, and I think you have the symbiote comics that are separate to like just the Venom ones, where everyone just kind of takes over everyone, and it's a very interesting. Because I mean, you've got all the comics where they did like Wolverine as Venom, and they have like those kind of series that they've done quite a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also a lot to fan drawings and such, because like I've seen so many variations of symbiote Spider-Man, of Eddie Brock, of MJ, Spider-Gwen, like everyone.
Yeah, Venom gets around.
Yeah.
I think a few people mentioned Blade as well. Like, a lot of people do forget it's in the Marvel series, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you do know there's a scary Pomeranian in them movies, right? And I had a pom. So when I got a pom puppy, mate, I thought it was gonna come and attack me. Luckily, it wasn't the same color, but oh god, they were good movies as well. I don't know if I'm looking forward to it as much as like the others, but it's been that long.
Yeah, I feel like I like it and I like Blade, but it's not my favourite, whereas I know Chris really loves it as well. So, as you said earlier, so something so good about the MCU is there's something for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I was saying, like I don't think anybody hates a film, like I don't, or a comic to do with anything to do with Marvel. I think there's a slight kind of meh, it's alright, or it's amazing, like, and I think that's what's good. But yeah, we actually named Lex after a superhero villain.
I feel like that's the wrong universe there.
It is, but he was called Dynamic Dude as his pedigree name. So we wanted to give him a superhero name, and we thought Lex sounded cool.
Superhero name went with supervillain.
Yeah. Why not? But
like
yeah, the
it,
wrong
though.
universe. Shout out to the best song.
So, I mean, does anyone else remember that Big Hero 6 is part of the MCU technically?
Is it?
I love that film. It's a Marvel comic book.
Wait.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, let's get Big Hero 6 into the MCU. Come on, Marvel, do it.
Make it canon.
Wait.
Yes.
Gimme.
I can have a huge inflatable snowman in Marvel. How is he part of Marvel? Just because he's a comic? I'm confused.
It's based off a comic book, and it's technically I think it had something to do
And it's
with
Disney.
the MCU. And it's Disney. They're owned by the same company. So yeah.
Oh.
And it is about superheroes. Technically, it's just because it's animated.
Oh, Big Hero.
I mean, I would just quickly quote Wikipedia here. Loosely based on the superhero team of the same name to by Marvel Comics. So it is at least named after like Marvel Comics. So make that as you will.
I do think I'm going to ask for some Marvel comics for Christmas now. The ones that you've recommended.
Do it! 100% get into them. Spend all your money on them. It's fun.
Yeah.
I keep like I lend my comics out quite a lot as well because I'm like so passionate. I'm like have them, and now I'm kind of lost like because of it, and it's sad.
Or I started doing that with like movies and CDs, and I don't know where half my CDs have gone. Back in the day when CDs were a thing. Yeah, I do think I'm gonna have to get some. Just because, like I say, I've read some of them online, and there's nothing better than having the feel of a comic book in your hand, is there?
To be fair, I recommend the Jessica Jones comics as well. Enjoy those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would enjoy that, and I've watched the series, so it'd be nice to kind of see
Yeah.
that, see that unfold. I still have CDs, Sammy. Yeah, well, that's because you're a boomer. Go on.
I was just gonna say something I'm incredibly interested in that's coming up is the new What If animated series. Don't know how much you guys know about that.
I don't know an awful lot about it.
It's basically so
What's it called?
It's called What If. So it's
Yeah.
going to be each episode is what if Peggy Carter became Captain America and took the super soldier serum?
Oh.
What if Marvel Zombies? And for me, I'm so excited to see what they do with that because it's animated. Technically, they can do anything. It's not going to really matter. And a lot of the actors are signed back onto it. I think I read that Captain America's going to be in it. And
That's
Is it,
awesome.
Chris
is
Evans
it going
is
to
signed on.
Disney?
It's
Is
going
it
to
going
Disney
on
Plus.
Plus? Yeah.
Up and coming.
What if Deadpool and Spider-Man had a love child? Now that is what I had read. Is that
That would
actually
be
a
so
what if
funny.
comic? Yes, I'm getting that if that is a comic.
Wait, so this is actually a comic series that they're making into a Disney
Yeah.
series.
Oh no.
So
Oh,
the
no.
first episode features Peggy Carter taking on the super soldier serum, which is what you said, instead of Steve Rogers. After 30 potential episode concepts, this seems insane.
Yeah, I'm so excited for it.
The casting, oh my gosh, the casting is literally like everyone,
Yeah.
even Robert Downey Jr.,
They're like, who do you want? Yes.
Jeffrey Wright, Howard Stark. Oh, how did I not know about this?
It's gonna
So,
be
someone went to the casting office and like, a casting officer went to the director like, how many do you want for your film? The director be like, yes.
Disney are like, come and get your money. do like a 20 minutes film with us, and then that's it. You can go.
It's animated. You can sit in your pajamas. It's fine.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
but I still don't think anything. At least for me, there's still nothing I've mentioned about. There's still nothing to beat Ryan Reynolds inviting in Tom Cruise to play three or four frames of Deadpool 2 for minimum daily rate and a cup of coffee. Like, and even if it was just stood like the original agreement was just that he came in, did like a few frames, left again, and Ryan Reynolds would just pay him a cup of coffee. That was it. He's gone again.
I mean, if Ryan Reynolds asks you to do anything, you just do it.
Very true.
You just turn up.
You're not wrong.
You're not wrong.
And
I mean, I think many will turn just see what kind of stuff is he up to now.
No, he's just a nice man.
he is him and Blake Lively.
Now it's getting into the ladies of Marvel for sure.
I mean, like Ryan Reynolds just in general, like an all-around stand-up guy. Like I think like a few weeks ago or like a month ago, there was someone who lost their back with like a record, like a teddy with the mom's recording, like late mom's recording in it, and he literally just put on Twitter, if anyone finds the bag, he will give 5,000 Canadian dollars to whoever finds it and returns it to the police, no questions asked. He literally gave no thoughts to how did you get position in his bag. He only thing cared about the fact the bag came home to who owned it.
Yeah, his Twitter's hilarious as well. Like,
True.
He's-
I mean, especially
amazing.
him and Hugh Jackman. For God's sake, someone
Yeah, they're
stop
so
them.
good.
I mean,
Uh,
it's spilling over to the movies, you know.
Never stop them. Keep them going.
no, yeah.
You know, I actually someone like, just the opening of Deadpool. Even the opening of Deadpool 1 is like, yeah, no, how can I just. How can I talk about Hugh Jackman without actually saying Hugh Jackman or Wolverine? I I mean, sure, like, the funny thing is, Deadpool 2, for me, I like Deadpool 1 more than I do Deadpool 2, but
Mhm.
Deadpool 2 is a
Same.
better movie. But
Yeah.
I think what Deadpool 1 had for it was the fact that it was just, what could they do with what they were given? It's like,
Yeah.
we have this concept, and because you could clearly see how Ryan Reynolds was really liking being able to break the fourth wall whenever possible. I
Definitely.
meing, he even the fourth wall and like went total meta at one point in the movie. It's
That
like,
ending in
how do you
Deadpool
come
2.
up with that?
Yeah, the ending in Deadpool 2 is just like, what? You
Yeah.
what now? You really going there? But yeah, it's cool. It's so
Also,
awesome.
just nigga Sonic and her girlfriend is like, this was probably a really bad mistake. You don't think so? You gave Deadpool a working time machine.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
it's definitely a bad
gosh.
mistake. Maybe
I
that's how he
mean-
ends up in Doctor Strange 2, guys. Have you thought about that?
Maybe.
I am like
I mean,
literally.
but I like how it, like all post credit, like mid and post credit scenes of Deadpool 2 is just, instead of just Ryan Reynolds going back in time to fixing his own mistakes instead of anything Deadpool related. It's just, I made these horrible mistakes in my life. Let's just ignore it. It's like about to sign on the I think it's green light contract or something like that. Is like, yeah, nope, no bueno. Imagine how happy we all would have been if we just said no to that role.
I mean, after Green Lantern, I'm surprised anyone wanted him, but
We
won't
don't
talk about that.
Green
Yeah.
Lantern.
I mean,
The less
he
said
talks
about
about it
Green Lantern,
occasionally.
the better.
Only he can talk about it. Deadpool versus the Hulk would be insane. But
Yeah.
like, my problem is like, especially with like Doctor Strange, it's a PG movie. How are you gonna get Deadpool in there? I mean,
Yeah, he'd be
Do you
like
just-
grabbing bits that he
How
should
the-
have grabbed.
so his mouth
There you
shut
go, there's a
again.
new
Maybe
one
don't
for
do that.
Marvel. What if Deadpool
I mean,
did
how,
that?
yeah, no, that's something I'm gonna look forward to, because how do you get Deadpool, who is one who, if you want to have to shoot Deadpool, you will have to get an 18 plus rating for the movie. How
Yeah,
do you get him
definitely.
into the PG Marvel universe? Just
With
how?
Disney.
Exactly.
Marvel after that.
Hello.
Marvel After Dark, amazing.
Oh, yes.
Oh, gosh.
I love like how chat is now just Deadpool versus this person. Just Deadpool in every
Okay.
movie ever.
Deadpool versus Taskmaster would be good.
Yeah, no, Venom's not, but I
Venom was just gory, wasn't it? In terms of being PG.
I
I don't know.
don't know. Kitty, was it PG or?
It wasn't PG. No. I can't imagine Carnage will be either though.
Oh,
Yeah, no, it won't be.
I'm sorry, I'm so pumped.
No, that's good because I think I'm not. I like some of the Sony movies. I just don't watch a lot of them over and over again. I've seen them all once.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, the Spider-Verse was really good, but yeah, is there much news on Carnage, Kitty?
I think I've not heard much. Like, I stopped following because I get to the point where I get so excited to get pumped and I know all of the dates have been pushed. So
Yeah.
we just check, see. Because last I checked, it had been mega pushed. Is it like late into 2021 now?
So much stuff's the same, isn't it? I think. And this is probably why the excitement's building and building for everyone with Marvel, because it's just what the first MCU was Iron Man, was it?
Yes.
The first one?
Yeah.
The actual first film, and when was that?
2000.
It's currently stating that it's going to be June
2009,
25th.
2008, something like that.
Okay, and what's it going to be? When's that going to come out, Key?
Yeah, June 25th, 2021. But I can imagine that'll probably be pushed.
pushed again.
Probably.
It was
Well,
due
yeah.
for October this year, so it was due now, which is why I just stopped looking. I'm not gonna lie.
I just think like
It's
the
something to
hype's
look
so
forward
real
to
at the
next year,
moment.
isn't it? There's lots for us to look forward to next year.
Blasphemy.
Yeah,
In the meantime, we can delve into some comics. It's fine.
definitely. I think I'll be ordering some with whatever money I have left next month, or I'll ask for some for Christmas.
Do it. I'll send you over a recommended list as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely. If any of you could do that, and then we can post that like at the end of the
Yeah.
YouTube video or whatever, and we can say like recommended comic books or whatever. That'd be cool.
That'd be
Um,
awesome.
But did you have anything else on your list to talk about, Shauna?
I was just gonna say more about what your favorite MCU movies are and talk about that a
Okay.
little bit. Or
Yeah.
like Marvel movies in general. I mean, I think like most people it's his Endgame these days because that film was insane. Infinity War Endgame, kind of 2 for 1.
I feel like
two for one, yeah.
I feel like that's because they sort of tie up everything that's been going on.
I really
And
enjoyed
it's
Oh,
literally just
well.
Marvel who said, how many superheroes can we get into the same movie? And still,
How much money
and
do
still
we
have
have
like,
left?
how much money do we have? We have so much money. How about we just spend, just a bit of pocket change and go and say, how many superheroes do you want in a single movie? Yes, just yes.
What are
And
you
then
gonna say,
they
Kitty?
invited everyone.
Winter Soldier's got to be in my top 5 for sure.
Winter
Winter
Soldier is.
Yeah,
I
Winter
everyone
Soldier's good.
flex about it, and I'm like, no, it's so good.
Yeah, I think. Well, as you can tell from my pop figures, my favourite character's Groot.
Is it?
Is it? I don't know. I've got like 11 of them there. And I do really enjoy the Guardians of the Galaxy movies because of the throwback to the soundtrack in there is just insane, and I think the characters work really well in terms of comedy, like PG comedy.
Yeah.
Like obviously I understand that Deadpool and stuff is
I agree. I think it's
hilarious.
the best introduction to a new generation to get people involved with, and it really like nephews and stuff that have got interested just via Guardians, and then branched out and then gone from Marvel and then gone over to DC and etc. etc. I think it's great to create like real characters for kids to watch, not just characters.
Yeah.
Cartoons making silly noises, like it's actual stories.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's really cool. Like so when I hear kids talking about stuff, I'm like, oh, you're such an awesome child.
But
Yeah.
I think
Definitely.
I mean,
They-
if it was the same, like my favorite would either be Guardians of the Galaxy, The Winter Soldier, or probably 4 Ragnarok.
Those are all good.
One of the 3. I'll say if you
there's
want
Iron
to
Man as
go,
well,
no.
like-
Doctor Strange and Spider-Man, Homecoming is also good. 2 good ones.
it's just you can't put your finger on it, can you?
Exactly.
I love the fact
yeah, I don't-
Squirrel Girl's been mentioned in chat.
Squirrel Girl is legit.
Even though I recognize the legendary Squirrel Girl, thank you.
Respect to Squirrel Girl. What were you
Exactly.
saying? Sorry, Snuffy?
I think just like you associate almost your favorite characters with your favorite films as well.
Mm-hmm.
And like there's just so many that you could choose from. I don't think I'd ever be able to actually give my favorite. I think like Kitty said or like Fu said, like top 5 would be a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
I feel like as well, Marvel's known so much for the heroes, but I think there's like a massive surge in anti-heroes at the moment as well, which I think is great.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, generally, like Marvel, not only for every
but-
good hero, you have just as good, like quality-wise good villain, and that I think that's what Marvel done so great is they have the overall villain Thanos, but then they have like every single movie building up to it has their own individual enemies and villains and everything that plays really well with who's in the movie. Sorry for cutting a bit over you there, Kitty.
That's okay. Yeah, no, I was just saying, I feel like there's like a good character build and it shows you like the backgrounds on how just because someone does bad things doesn't mean they're a bad person. Sometimes they've had things happen that have led them in paths that like they wouldn't have normally gone in, or vice versa. There could be great people that have had something terrible happen and led them into a totally different mindset, and I think it shows that quite well. in Marvel, and I think that's underrated. And a lot more of the darkness is coming through, where before you would have just associated that mostly with DC, and that was probably
Yeah.
my selling point for DC was the dark, the sarcasm, the like that kind of dry wit hooked me. But lately, I've been more swaying towards Marvel for that reason.
Yeah.
Like the character depth is building, which is nice. It's good to see.
It goes back to the Spider-Man thing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Go on, Shauna.
Yeah, as you say, there's a lot more complex characters than there was now. I think we've had a few questions in chat as well.
Cool.
Who do you think the most underrated character is from all the movies?
Oh. Like in terms of their ability, or like has maybe not been given as much limelight as they should have done. I don't know.
I'd say like popularity, ability. Who's just written quite poorly in the movies, or do you think people underrate themselves?
Well, I think Hawkeye is quite underrated. I wouldn't say he's the most underrated. I don't know.
How about you, Katie? You got anyone?
I think until recently it had probably been Black Widow, but I think now obviously she's got her own movie on the way. I think a lot of people like they just didn't have much like intel and knowledge on her backstory, and now when they get that, I think that maybe she'll get a bit more like understanding, a bit more depth into her character. But I don't think anyone's necessarily underrated. I think for me it's been either slightly wrong castings or slightly wrong writing that wasn't linked in the comics. So I think sometimes it could be for a number of reasons. It's not necessarily the character. It could be either poor writing or poor casting, or it's just not like canon.
Well, it's like Loki. Everyone loves Loki, but actually, as a superhero-y villain, he doesn't do an awful lot, and I feel like he theoretically could be underrated if you're looking at it from an ability point of view.
He's not really had his mega mischief yet, has he?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I just feel there's something still.
Yeah, there's scope there, 100%.
Yeah.
Sure.
How about yourself, Foos? You got anyone?
Not really.
Yeah, I probably agree with kind of like Hawkeye, who I do think was actually really well done in Endgame. I think
He was. That saved him.
Yeah, the Ronan kind of story arc was really good. Black Widow, like you said, like the one time they tried in the MCU to give her a bit of story in Avengers 2, didn't really work. I quite like
it overshone anyway, didn't it? So it was a bit like, nah.
Yeah,
anyway.
It's just a little bit like, oh, okay. Just give her a romance story, it'd be fine. It's never happened before and doesn't work, but deal with it.
Yeah.
The guy in the chair for Spider-Man, yeah, he probably does need his own film. And like, sure, he does need her own film, but I feel like that's because she's so well written in Black Panther that people really want to see more of her, rather than it being her comic book character. I know she does more in the comic books, but
yeah, I feel like this is where you come back to Bossman's passing, and I think that's gonna be Shuri's opening into the MCU more through because they'll probably, or at least hope they're gonna try and work around his death with Shuri more.
Yeah, I think that kind of touched on it already, haven't we? A bit with Shuri.
Yeah.
I don't know if you were here, Teddy, when we were talking about it, but we basically just said that, that we think she's probably the route they're going to take.
yeah. And I think we touched on it briefly about the new spin-off TV series that are coming in, but which one are you guys most excited for?
Don't even remember what they're just coming in.
So the What If does sound really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, what it sounds good, yeah.
I don't know of any others really. Which other ones were there?
WandaVision's out in December, so next month. Moon Knight, which Teddy's just mentioned. You've got the Young Avengers, I believe. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that's being casted right now. Winter Falcon, whatever it's called.
The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
that
Wonder
one.
Vision. That's Wonder Vision. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That's Loki. What If? Hawkeye, Miss Marvel, Moon Knight, and She-Hulk.
Also,
Those
Loki's
ones.
coming out as a TV series.
Coming
Oh, I
out
think I love
early 2021. Wonder Vision is set to come out next month with the first episode.
The
First
trailer
of
for that.
six. Falcon and the Winter Soldier is set to come out some point during 2021. Again, 6 episodes. Loki, 6 episodes early 2021. What If, 10 episodes mid 2021, then 2 stuff with it. Like two parts of What If apparently. Hawkeye, Miss Marvel, Moon Knight, and She-Hulk is 2022, and there's not much more information other than that.
So quite a few. There's a big list.
They're all in pre-production, so
What If and Loki for me out of those, I think.
Yeah.
Would
What
be
if and
mine.
WandaVision?
if you, at least by Wikipedia, the current status is that WandaVision is apparently still in slight filming. Is filming still, while also preparing episodes. Falcon and the Winter Soldier are waiting release. Loki is still in filming. What If is in production, and pre-production for everything else.
Cool. So there's a
So
lot
what
to
are
look
you-
forward to.
What are you looking forward to, Shauna?
WandaVision, definitely, because Wanda's my favourite MCU character. And What If, because I think that's just going to be insane.
Yeah. What If does sound like an awesome concept, to be honest.
I don't think he's cast. Greg's asking about Hawkeye being in Black Widow. I don't think he's in it. If he does, it's going to be a cameo. It's not going to be a full.
And he's got his own TV series coming out in October 2021. So
Pretty sure is Black Widow just going to be a family throwback? Do you think?
I think it's supposed to be
be.
set
Family get together.
between Civil War and Endgame, Infinity War.
it's just so weird that we're waiting this long for it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think it's. I hope it doesn't mess with the timeline in my head.
Yeah, I'm sure they've got it all sorted out. Like, I'm sure they'll be fine. They'll get it all set.
Yeah.
WandaVision, I think it's set after Vision is dead. If you've not watched the trailer, I would watch it.
The photo set is after he's dead. Yeah. Like it's showing him dying. So it says.
Yeah. And there's
like
a quote
the
in
upcoming
By
Black-
Wikipedia, Vision appears in the series after his death in Avengers: Infinity War.
Yeah. There's like a part in the trailer where like Vision's talking to somebody and she turns around and goes, "But you're dead," and I'm like, "Ah!"
Yeah, just hang
just-
on a sec, aren't they dead? Is like a quote. Right.
So it's
Just a little quick one. Bossman is scheduled to appear in What If at some point.
Ooh.
Nice. I did look
Sorry.
at a load of stuff for that.
It's
They have quite a few, like they have quite a long list of guests in the.
Peggy Carter.
But I think what if due to the nature of it, like they have one main character as it stands, and then various guests.
That cast.
stopping him.
I'm just reading the cast again, like, gee,
They were
like,
doing
that
what if
bastard?
Punisher is an agent of the Shield as well, weren't there?
yeah. Imagine.
So much, yes.
So much, yes. Oh.
Did anyone else have anything else they wanted to talk about, or any other questions?
I don't think so, unless chat. Well, these two might, or unless chat wanna ask us any questions. I feel like chat can
don't
kind of
know,
just
like-
chipping in.
Yeah.
But-
Does chat have anything they want to have answered by us? You know,
Yeah.
almighty beings who seemingly can't pick out anything anyhow.
Just ask me a question and my face will just go,
Sorry, what?
brain work, it's there somewhere, maybe.
Like having to, screw up our brains again.
Ugh.
Like those dolls, like just screw on the back. That's how I feel like someone needs to deal with me once I start to get to. Like, can someone please come in and like screw me back up and like get me going again, please?
Oh, okay, this is actually not something we've touched on, which is great considering we all play video games.
Yeah,
Opinions on the Marvel games, and if you've played any of the new ones.
I haven't actually played like the latest big one yet.
I've
Spider-Man.
playing
most
one.
of the Spider-Man games.
Same.
I love the Spider-Man game. Oh my god,
That was beautiful, and Miles
I
Morales is out.
genuinely love it.
And the PS5 release game.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to how to do Miles as well, because I like what Spider-Verse did with Miles, and like truly introducing him on the biggest scene as like a proper Spider-Man.
Yeah.
In general, I like Spider-Verse because the only Spider-Man in there was like the guy that Spider-Man, and then like and then you had all kinds of variations of Spider-Man because you had old Spider, like middle-aged Spider, old middle-aged crisis Spider-Man, piggy Spider-Man, Japanese like future Spider-Man, I really like the fact they included Spider-Man Noir as well,
Yeah.
and Spider-Gwen into it, and because I know those two at least are somewhat big in the comics.
Yeah.
And in general, like also I like the fact they actually like there's someone who had the guts to try and include Spider Gwen as well.
Yeah, I think they did it really well. And I think Miles Morales is probably going to be pretty good. I think Spider-Man. I mean, one of my favourite parts of Spider-Man is that you can run up the Avengers Tower because,
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
like, it's ridiculous.
I've not played the Marvel Avengers game though. I know
have.
Beastie's played it a bit, if not played it all.
I played a bit. I enjoyed it and didn't enjoy it. It
I-
didn't have
I'm-
enough content.
Yeah, no, I'm hesitant on actually getting the games, why I haven't played, but that's because the overall reviews for the game on Steam is at 65% of around 10,000 reviews. And the recent one above 1,000 is like 54% positive. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm hesitant on getting them, because the reviews they have on it isn't too good looking. Because if like for me a good Steam game is at minimum most positive. Like a very big or good game on Steam has at least mostly positive. When you
Yeah.
down mix for something as big as Avengers, you sort of missed it.
Yeah, definitely, because people will vote just because it's the Avengers and we'll give it 10 stars, let's be honest. And
Yeah.
then again, people do the opposite. But let's be honest, guys. Best Marvel game, Lego Marvel.
Yeah.
It was so
Yeah.
good. It's so
Have you
good.
played any of the Marvel board games?
No,
Monopoly?
board game.
Marvel
Cluedo?
Monopoly. It's like, oh.
Doesn't count. Monopoly is not a board game. I see stuff.
Why do you
Yeah.
have you played a few?
Yeah, no, yeah. So in general, like board game wise, I'm a big collector anyway. But there's
know you
definitely a
love
few to
them.
check out. So if you're into Marvel, I'd say Munchkin. Marvel Munchkin is probably my favourite expansion of Munchkin. Legendary. They also have like for the people that like Secret Wars, they've got a Secret Wars expansion for that. That's pretty
Ooh.
cool. And then Versus System, got Marvel for that as well. And then what else? Oh, Deadpool versus the World, another one. Yeah, so
What-
probably
like-
they're probably my favourite.
What's the premise of like Marvel Munchkin then? Like, what's
So Munchkin is a standalone game anyway, but it's kind of like a deck building game. And then you've got all various characters, and then you can add head armor items, arms, and then basically you try to defeat a monster, which is then in game because it's a Marvel expansion. It will be a Marvel villain, and then people can either around the table offer to help you. They can then, if they don't help you, try to mess you over and stop you winning, etc., etc. And then the idea is just to get like rank up the highest and then get to level 10 or whatever. But yeah, no, really, really good fun. So I highly recommend. Marvel Munchkin is probably my favourite.
Yeah, they're
With the
cool.
Deadpool expansion as well, just to throw that in.
yeah?
Right,
The
check
only
it
thing
out.
close, like I say, is Marvel Monopoly and Marvel Top Trumps.
Wait, I have them somewhere. I don't know where.
I do as well. It's my go-to in my hand luggage bag for on holiday.
Just bring the top trumps. But I
Take the
think-
Top Trumps.
So my family are massively into board games as well, Kitty. I've got loads, but I've not got any of the Marvel ones, so I'll definitely be taking those into account and giving them a go.
If you could send a list of them, Kitty, that'd be awesome, and we'll put them on like
Yeah,
an
sure,
outro as well, if that's all right.
Yes.
Cheers. Was there another question that we missed, or?
I think there was some. So Teddy said about he still likes to think that Cap has messed up the timeline when he went back to put the stones back. No matter what the movie says, there has to be consequences to changing something like that. Staying with Peggy.
Yeah, I kind of understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because considering how much it would change the entire scope of everything that happened in prior 10 years, so.
Mm.
But I do hope they do some like slowly let the changes of what will happen come slowly.
Yeah.
I just didn't really like it. I really just didn't. I thought it was the wrong choice for the end, to be honest.
As a complete story, probably, but as a character development, it was the perfect ending.
I think
Really?
it undid his character development, because his whole story was about getting over the fact that he was stuck in the past. Personally, I wanted Cap to do what Iron Man did, and Iron Man to retire with his family. That would have been the perfect ending for me, personally. That might be because I'm Team Iron Man, but still, I'm not over it. It's fine.
Over it.
But yeah.
I think that's probably coming to an end. If you've got any other questions, just try and chuck them in. Before we kind of end, I guess we've been going now for an hour and 40. I think we guessed an hour and a half.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So we've not.
I think there was just something about passing on the mantle that came through from Greg. I personally quite liked the fact it was Sam. Not gonna lie.
I like Sam.
Yeah.
I feel like as a story, it fits better with Sam as well.
Bucky has his story. It's there, and in the comic book, Sam was Captain America anyway, so it fits in with the comics, and I definitely agreed. I know a lot of people didn't prefer that idea, but I did.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that, to be honest. So.
I almost feel like because Falcon has always sort of been in the shadow of everyone. So for him, like that was sort of also let's give Falcon some love as well.
Well, yeah, I think with that,
Cool.
we've done. Yeah, but thank you to everyone for joining.
The next podcast will be like 2 weeks from now. It will be either Saturday or Sunday, depending on the guests' availability. We're gonna try and do them on Saturdays and Sundays, aren't we? And I think we said so it'll be the 14th or 15th of November, and that's going to be based on like next generation gaming, so something completely different. And we'll be looking to get 1 or 2 guests on for that. So if anyone in chat wants to get involved, just hit one of us up. Thank you, by the way, Kitty and Fuge. I hope you had a good time.
I mean, thank you for inviting us onto the show.
I mean, we had to, based on the conversations we've had on several
100%.
streams. But yeah, thanks for being a part of the first one. It's been awesome.
Yeah.
Been a blast.
And make sure everyone follows everyone. My last shout out did not work because why would everything work?
Why would it work?
I mean, why would it, you know?
Why? But yeah, make sure you follow everyone that was involved today. They're all freaking awesome. And the next podcast will be on Sluffy's channel as well. So make sure you are following.
And for YouTube purposes, make sure you comment down below on anything that you think we missed. And we'll try and pick up on any comments that you've got. We'll try and reply to as many as we can, because we expect a huge influx of comments, you know. And make sure you do go and subscribe to the channel as well. It's Propitious Community YouTube channel, and we will be uploading this straight onto there because none of us swore. Yes.
I think there's a few slips. I will be posting the YouTube channel as well in a minute. So stick around. We'll raid someone, and I will get the YouTube up. So make sure you give it a follow. Cheers. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thank you.
Like and subscribe.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.